The Big Question. Liz Green live.
Now then, look, I haven't lost my senses here, but in our county in Yorkshire, do you realise that we are one of, apparently, the UFO hotspots of the country? Did you realise that? A little bit of this. They're here. Or are they? Now look, tonight sees the world premiere of a new comedy sci-fi movie. It's called Paul. It features, I'm told, a rogue E.T. hanging out in America. Makes a break for it, all of that. But here we are then, with apparently thousands of you across this county seeing things in the sky. That we have sightings from Barnsley and Rotherham, from Filey to Scarborough to Todmorden to Leeds. Do you really believe in little green men, do you? And UFOs, that they're out there? Ever seen lights in the sky that you couldn't explain? Not a Chinese lantern either. And if they're there, do you really think they're clever enough, they being world governments and powers and even the media, to cover it up? And why don't they just land in the middle of Sheffield or in the middle of Bradford or the middle of Northallerton? Why don't they just land and say hello? 0845 303 3333 for your call if you've ever seen anything. I never have, and I'd love to. When you text, this is the number, 81333. You must start it with my name, Liz, L-I-Z, otherwise I won't get it. And when you email similar, liz@bbc.co.uk. Your stories, we'll talk about that next. In an hour, it's one-on-one, and today, meet the woman in charge of the Harrogate International Festivals. Sharon Canavar will be here on bringing the arts, literature and music to this county and putting Yorkshire on the map. Her story and Sharon's choice of music in an hour. And by the way, we're on Twitter if you are. All one word, Liz Green Live. Press that button and get us followed.
Liz Green Live. Call 0845 303 3333.
BBC Radio Leeds.
Yeah, a little bit of UFO then. Are they there or aren't they? Seen them, haven't you? I mean, all those Americans believe in it. They can't be wrong. Surely. All right, more on that in a minute. 18 minutes now past 1 o'clock. You're with Liz Green Live, BBC Radio across Yorkshire. Now look, just for a moment, look to the skies. Did you know that our county, Yorkshire, is considered a UFO hotspot? There's a triangle of sightings and activities in West Yorkshire, centred on Todmorden and parts of Leeds. And there is a stretch of coastline at Filey to Scarborough, which is North Yorkshire's hotspot, and in South Yorkshire, good afternoon, sightings in Rotherham and Stainforth and Mexborough, Doncaster and Barnsley. Well, this evening, a new movie. It's a sci-fi comedy featuring a rogue alien called Paul, who escapes from a high-security facility in America's UFO heartland. It's a movie that's going to have its world premiere tonight. I don't know what it'd be like. But look, never mind that. Come on. Do you really believe that there are things flying around planet Earth? Aliens making contact? Have you ever seen anything in the skies you could not explain? Over the skies of Yorkshire. This is the number, 0845 303 3333. It's our big question this hour. Do you really believe that that could even be covered up? That they'd be powerful enough, governments or the media, to keep it quiet? When you text 81333, you must start that though with my name, Liz, or I won't get it. 81333, start it with the word Liz. And for my email, it's liz@bbc.co.uk. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, feel free. Liz Green Live, all one word. Been lovely to have you there. Now, let's speak to two men who've seen evidence and investigated UFO sightings for a long time between them. Russell Kellett is here. He's from North Yorkshire. He's a UFO investigator. Russell, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Liz.
And Anthony Beckett is here. Hello, Anthony.
Hi, Liz.
Hello, the organiser of the UFO conferences, which take place in the region at Leeds University. I think they're annually, aren't they, Anthony? Let me just ask you this question, then I'm asking everyone else. Russell first. Do you believe? Are there things flying around?
Well, they're not only flying around. I mean, they're actually under the sea, basically coming up and being caught on video.
What do you mean under the sea?
Well, basically these things actually travel under the sea as well, and then come out and fly around. They're not only in the air. Right.
Anthony, you ever seen any under the sea?
Not under the sea, but I've never worked on a naval ship, so I've never been in a position.
Do you believe they're out there?
For me, ultimately, people, UFOs, fundamentally, it's just an unidentified flying object. One of the problems with this subject is like trying to work out what that means and what that is. I mean, for example, back in the 1940s, everyone's familiar with the story of Roswell, and when the whole kind of UFO crashes, flying saucers was reportedly crashing. Well, back at that time, it was that the actual Air Force, the US Air Force, considered the issue very seriously. And they were getting reports from the public, but they were also getting reports from military pilots. And there's one general called Nathan Twining was actually considering that what these things might actually be extraterrestrial, but they might possibly still be.
Yeah, but that's my question. You hold these conferences every year. We've talked to Russell about some of the Yorkshire sightings in a moment, but do you or do you not believe there are extraterrestrials? Then let's be specific, flying around above this county.
I actually don't. I honestly say that I don't know, but that's the reason I put on the conferences. It's the reason I do the. But
Russell, you do know, you reckon?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've had a number of close encounters from 1988, 1990, 2000. I've had a witness with me when something turned up once, but also I've actually filmed some of the most compelling video evidence that's ever been taken in the world. Never mind about in the area.
Right. What do you mean? What, filmed over Yorkshire?
Yeah, Filey, Bradford. My colleagues have filmed things in Scarborough, in Selby, and
What have you filmed then over Yorkshire that's blown your little mind? What have you filmed and thought, my God,
well,
what's that?
Like I said earlier, I filmed two objects coming out of the sea, out of Filey Bay, and taking off. There's 18 minutes of video evidence there, and everybody that's seen it has said, well, that's not an aeroplane. My colleague has filmed a dogfight down in Skipsea.
What between two UFOs?
Yeah, between two UFOs, a flying triangle. And if you go on my website, ufo-paranormal.tv, we'll be putting some more video evidence and photographic evidence up for people to see.
How come then, if you're so sure, Russell, and you've got the video evidence, that nobody anywhere from our MOD through to the government to NATO to the White House to whoever, whatever, says, there's the evidence, there's the aliens. How come they never do that?
Well, let's be honest about it, Liz. These people have been hiding their expenses for years, haven't they?
Well, what's that got to do with it?
Well,
they're not that clever, surely. If there's enough evidence, they couldn't keep it quiet.
Why did they put D notices on this? Defence notices on a number of things, and this is the nature of governments that will clamp down. You can't talk about this, and they'll hide information away, and they'll put 50 years, what do you call it, on it, defence notice on it, and then when it gets, nearer to the day, they might put another 50 years on.
Okay.
Russell, so, I mean, we're not going to get the truth from the government, are we?
Russell, Anthony, what did you want to say?
Well, the British Ministry of Defence, obviously, you're aware that they've been releasing the UFO files for the last, I think, started about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's still ongoing. And their position is that they don't have a position on whether UFOs exist. All they will say is that it's not of defence significance.
They haven't released all the files. In fact, they've lost quite a number of files.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
So I mean, are they going to release a document that pertains to creatures from another world coming here?
Well, I don't know. What I find... Russell Kellett is here, Anthony Beckett is here. They're both experts and have knowledge of things flying around above the earth. That's what I'm asking. Yorkshire is a hotspot, apparently, for UFO sightings. Have you ever seen anything? You see, where it falls down for me is that the evidence that Russell says he has, the evidence that Anthony's looked at, I just don't know if governments and the media would keep that quiet, would they? 0845 303 3333 when you call. Do you really think the truth is out there? Let's go to Rob in York. Hello, Rob.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, yourself.
Yeah, I'm all right. Is E.T.
Good.
Is E.T. there?
Well, I don't know if E.T.'s there, but I can only go on an experience that I had and many other motorists had 2 or 3 years ago. Travelling down the A64, coming into York, just around about the Tadcaster turning, and I noticed, myself and my wife noticed 3 helicopters, and I said to my wife, they're Army helicopters, and when my wife, I was driving at the time, when my wife looked closer, the 3 helicopters were actually stationary, and they were actually surrounding what looked like, a ball of light. She said, pull over when you can and have a look at this, and we did do. We pulled into the road bit to the nearest lay-by, and I suppose we were about 3/4 of a mile away, something like that. And what I saw was basically 3 Army helicopters, and there was this shining light, and there seemed to be just around it. And suddenly, probably we were watching this for about 30, 40, 50 seconds, something like that. Suddenly the light just, as if you'd switch off the light in the home, it just disappeared. And then, to our amazement, what happened was these Army helicopters then sort of like just split apart.
Right.
And it was quite weird because you could actually see them. They were rotating themselves around as if to say, where's that gone, sort of thing.
And how long ago where was this, Rob? Was it recently?
It was about 2 or 3 years ago, 2008, I think it was.
Okay. And you've no idea what it was?
Absolutely not, no. There were other people that saw it, and it actually was on another radio station as well.
Right.
Someone had phoned in and said, did you see that? And, it was, I'm completely sane and quite an intelligent man, and I could not explain what I saw there.
I don't know if you interpret that as being Little Green Man, E.T., something inexplicable, or it's changed your view on that. I mean, what do you believe, Rob?
Well, I think actually the identification of the word, or the way that the word UFO, unidentified flying object, is correct in that manner. I don't think I could identify what it was. So it certainly was unidentified. It was flying, and it certainly was an object. Do I believe? I think with all the science programs that are on nowadays, I think the way technology is and the way that we're looking into the universe, what a huge, wonderful place that is out there. Surely we're not the only people here. Whether or not we're being visited, who knows?
And if we were, do you really think they could keep it quiet? The
Not a
powers that
chance.
be? No, I don't think. That's where it falls down
Not
for
a
me.
chance.
Thank
Well,
you.
maybe all the developments of these science programs, all these wonderful Stargate programs and Space 90, all these Star Treks and things. Maybe that's a way of the different governments preparing us mentally for what's actually about to happen.
No, that drip feed theory, Rob's an interesting one. Thank you very much for your call. Have you ever seen anything you couldn't explain?